Good morning, dear students. Welcome to St. Basil's Nepania online classes. Today is your social studies class, and we are going to begin our chapter. Our first chapter is the story of early humans. In this chapter, we will study brief introduction of the story of human evolution on the earth and sources. What sources we have found such as fossils, bones, utensils, cave paintings, tools, etc. to know about the early humans. So let's begin our lesson. First of all, you can find these pictures. Identify the animals and write their names. So you have to identify these animals, children, what is given here, and tell the name of these. What these pictures are? Do you know what these pictures are? These paintings have been made on cave walls. These paintings we have found on the cave walls by people who lived very long ago. The people who were living here very long ago, many years ago, they have made these paintings, and with the help of these paintings, these are only the sources or evidences which tell us that the how early humans were living on the earth. Okay, so at that time, which animals were there? Early humans had seen all these animals, then only they had made these paintings, no? So with these evidences means sources, we came to know that which animals were there, what early humans were knowing, how much brain they had. So these only the proofs that tell us that how they were. So with this picture, what do you find? This is the picture of deer, and this is the picture of horse, isn't it? And this is the bull. Okay, so you have to write on the given blanks. Below that blanks are given, no? There you have to write. So we'll start the lesson. You are now in class 5th, isn't it, children? Now you all are in class 5th. Last year you all were in class 4. So you have grown taller. You became taller compared to the last class, or when you was in LKG, UKG, then you will find that there is the huge difference between the growth of that time when you was in LKG and now you are in class 5th. So this big difference, isn't it? Similarly, there is the difference in the lifestyle of early men also. These evidences, these sources tell us that there was the different in the lifestyle of early men also. It depends on the days, okay? Like when they were in like 2 lakh years ago, they were different. Then after that, when it was 14,000 years ago, it was quite different. So this is the difference we find in the life of early men also. The story of early humans is the story of their gradual growth and development. In this story, you will study that how the early one was developing himself, how they were processing day by day. So, and that is only called the evolution. That is only called the evolution. What is evolution? The gradual growth and development in the lifestyle of early human, that is the evolution. For a very long time, there was no life on earth. Many years before, there were no one on the earth. Only what we have find? Slowly we find plants and animals appeared. Day by day we find that plants and animals came on that earth. About 2 lakh years ago, human evolved from ape-like ancestors. 2 lakhs years ago, we had find that human is like ape-like. Ancestors means they are old ones. They are old ones. So, early one. Okay. So, they were looking like a ape. Now, we are going to study about the different stages in human. These are the different stages in human evolution. Human passed through many stages of evolution. There were many stages before becoming what they are today. So what we are today, as you are looking, as I am looking, so before that we have passed different stages, many stages. It is believed that human beings evolved from hominins. People say that human beings progress from the hominins. One of the best known remains of an early hominin species has been found in Africa. Hominins means that the first stage, beginners of the early one, and people say that is the best remains. Remains means that only sources, okay, remains of their body. So that is found in Africa. It is 4.4 million years old. Over a period of time, hominins evolved as they adapted themselves to their surrounding, finally transforming into modern human beings. Let us read about the stages. So here are the different stages, how they were changing. This one, okay, this is Australopithecus. Australopithecus, here the name is written Australopithecus. This early man was called as Australopithecus, and one of the best known early man species. Species means kind, variety. This is the one of the best known early man species. Its name was Australopithecus, okay, and they lived between 3.9 and 2.9 million years ago. They were on the earth between 3.9 and 2.9 million years ago, and they looks like their height was short. They were not very tall. They had small brain. They had small brain, okay, and they walked on two legs. They were walking on the two legs. Ape like face, their faces just looks like ape, okay, so they had the ape like face. These are the features means how they looks like. After that they change in the Homo habilis. This is the face of Homo habilis. They are also called as handy man. They lived 2.4 and 1.4 million years ago. Features, how they were short height, that you had seen that Australopithecus also had the short height. Same way Homo habilis, this is Homo habilis, they also had short height. They had brain bigger than Australopithecus. Their brain is bigger than this. They were more brilliant than this Australopithecus, okay. Who were more brilliant? Homo habilis were more brilliant if we compare to Australopithecus. And ape-like arms. Their arms were like ape. Their arms, hands, they were like a ape. Okay. And people think that, people believe that they learn to make stone tools. Tools made by stones for the hunting that they have learnt. Who have learnt? Homo habilis have learnt. After that, the next stage of early man was Homo erectus. Homo erectus. You can see this big man, also called as upright man. The other name of Homo erectus was upright man. Okay, they lived between 1.9 million and 1,40,000 years ago. They looks like the human like body shape. The shape of the body is like a human. Long legs, short arms, brain size larger than that of Homo habilis. So here what we are find, children, that when this Australopithecus is there, its brain was shorter. Okay, then this Homo habilis has bigger brain compared to this. Means brain is developing. Okay, and then it is developed into this Homo erectus. Their brain was quite more bigger, quite more intelligent than Homo habilis, and they learned to make better stone tools compared to Homo habilis, and probably they knew to use fire. Here this Homo erectus have learned to make better tools compared to Homo habilis, and they learn to make fire also. Clear? So This this is said to be Neanderthal. Neanderthal. Okay. And also known as cavemen. They were also known as cavemen. They started to live in the caves. And they lived 4,40,000 years ago. Just from today's 40,000 years ago. Between this period they have lived, and they had strong muscular bodies. Their bodies were strong. Look this picture. Okay, they had strong muscular bodies. Their brain size was large and compared to Homo erectus, and they made better stone than Homo erectus. And see, you can see in his hand, that is the stone tools. Okay, stone and wood tools. At the top they have used stone. They were not iron. And some believe that they could also make fire, and they also have learned to make fire for cooking their food or to keep their body warm. At the last stage, that is the Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens means wise man. Wise man means clever man, like today's man. About 2 lakh years ago to the present time. From today, they were on the earth 2 lakh years ago. They had increased brain size. They were clever, and they made variety of tools. They had made different type of tools. Homo sapiens have been on the earth for a longer time. They were on the earth for the long period. Clear? Now next you have this, some questions you have that you have to solve it. It is about the lesson. What are the questions? Just read it. What questions are there? The questions are: life existed on earth from the very beginning. Is it true or false? So you have to answer, read the lesson and answer all these questions. Human evolved, did not evolve over millions of years. The best known remains of early this jumbled word is written Minihon are found in Africa. Dash is called the handyman. Who is called the handyman? So read the lesson and find all these answers. Then our next topic is children, sources. What is that? Sources. What are the sources that tell us that how early human was? Like in class 4 you have read about the two main types of sources. Two main types of sources are what? Archaeological sources and literary sources. What is archaeological sources? That is the scientific study of material remains such as tools, pottery, jewelry. Means according to science, when we study about these, like jewelry, bones are there, monuments are there. When we study about that, we'll come to know about that how long before it is made. That is the archaeologicals. Okay, and literary means that written. It is written by someone, that on the books or on the walls anywhere, and with the writing, with that written notes, we'll come to know about this, about that past. Okay, so these are that sources are archaeological and literally. Remember that to understand human evolution, our sources are largely archaeological. Mostly the sources were archaeological because they were not knowing to write. Okay, they include fossils. Fossils means remains of the bones, remains of the dead body. Okay, bones, tools and other artifacts. Artifacts means tools, weapons, utensils which they were using, which early human was using. Now first of all, fossils. I have told you in short what is fossils. So we'll study what is fossils. Fossils are the primary source to understand human evolution. That is the primary source. Primary source is basic source which tell us about the how human developed. Okay, evolution means development, slow development, gradual development. But what are fossils? They are preserved remains or traces of plants and animals that lived millions of years ago. Millions of years ago, those were living on the earth, they preserve, they save their plants or animals as their resources. That is fossils. The remain include footprints also, eggs, bones, teeth, shells and so on. In that remains not only the bones, their footprints are also there, eggs are there, shells also there, teeth also there. So with the help of that remains, we learn about the early humans. By studying early humans fossils, experts learn about the time period, that is how far back in time did the early human alive. So with the remains of this, the scientists are able to know that how far back in time did the humans live. The changes in the physical appearance of early humans, how they were changing, how their body was changing, how their mind was developing, and the geographical areas where early humans lived and where they were living. Like firstly, they were not knowing to make cave, they were not living on the cave, they were living on the trees, then they started to live on the caves. So that remains, that fossils only tell us about all these. Okay, then we'll study in fossils. Under fossils, bones is also there, tools are also there. So we'll study about bones and tools one by one. When experts study bones, they examine their shape and size. When they were studying about the bones, they were noticing how that the size of the bones and shape was that. This helps them to understand how early humans moved. Because of their bone size and the shape, they were coming to know about that, how they were walking, how they held their tools, how they made their tools, the change in the size of human brain how it was developing, and guess about the diet of early humans and what they were eating. So with the help of their bones only, with the shape of their bones, with the size of their ones, they came to know about that. Okay, now tools. Early humans used stones, animals bones and wood to make tools. They were using stones and animals bones and wood also to make tools. The evolution of early humans is best known through their tools. By the help of tools, we came to know how they were growing, how they were developing, who early humans were developing. In the beginning, early humans used objects as they found as tools. Later, they made tools as per their need. Tool help experts to know and understand the following. Tools only help the experts. Who experts? Who are interested to know about the early humans. Like you also have got interest, know how they were. If you want to know about your ancestors, so what you will doing? You are noticing the things which are kept many years ago, no, you will, if you have albums and all, you watch all that things, no, photos. And so that time photos were not there, that all things were not there, there was no record. So what bones, fossils, teeth, they only were the remains, and by that only we were coming to know about that how they were living. Okay, so here we are studying about the tools, the materials that early humans used to make tools, what they were using to make tools. Okay, like now you have the tools, hammer, spinner and all. That time they were they don't had all that things, they were making tools by the stone. Ways in which early humans adapted their surroundings, how they were living on their surroundings, the areas where early humans lived, the archaeological sites. Archaeological sites means lifestyle, a place where remains of things are found. Where they were living, no, we found that their remains. Okay, that is the archaeological site. That is the place where they were living. So from where their tools are found, tell us about the areas of inhabitation. Inhabitation means living a style, their lifestyle, how they were sleeping, how they were eating. That is the inhabitation. Utensils means the dishes what they were using. Early humans made simple, sharp tools for cutting and pounding meat. Here you can see in the next picture, children. Here, see, this is the, they were using simple sharp stone tools. Now we have some other tools, no, for cutting, chopping the vegetables like knife and all, but they don't had all that. They were making tools with the help of stones for pounding meat also. Much later humans learned to make pots. Afterwards, after many years, they learned to make pots, earthen pots. They used them to store food and water, and that they were using to store food and water. Firstly, they don't had anything to store foods and water. Some of the oldest pots were made about 18,000 years ago. 18,000 years ago only they came to know to how learn to make the pots. Now cave paintings. Cave paintings. Cave paintings have been found in many parts of the world. In the case, they had made different type of paintings that is found in many parts of the world. In whole world, different many caves are there, and there people that archaeologists had found cave paintings. The most famous ones are in Spain. In the Spain, France and India, many cave paintings are found. The first paint were made by grinding stones into a paste. First cave painting, how they were made, you know children? They had grind the stone and made the painting. Most cave painting shows animals. The mostly cave paintings show the pictures of the animals such as deer, bison. Bison is like bull, and mammoth. Mammoth is the type of elephant. This elephant, okay, that is mammoth, this elephant, okay, and so on. Some show early humans hunting while others show them dancing. In that picture we have seen that early humans are dancing or hunting the animals. Thus, by studying such evidence with these all evidence with all sources, archaeologists I told you, scientists can understand how early humans lived. So these all were in the lesson. You read the lesson, try to understand. If you have difficulty, you can ask. Thank you, children.